So in today's video I'm going to tell you how I stay on track during the chaos. And what I mean by chaos is running a supplement brand, being a co-founder of a supplement brand, as well as trying to cut and stick to my diet. Because as you all know, when you diet, man, it gets tough, you know, especially when you're reducing calories each week or whatever, man. You get stressed out, you get nagged out, you're always hungry, and it does play a role when trying to juggle so many balls. So in today's video, I'm gonna cook some food. Today is now I'm gonna cook my meal 5, which is my last meal. So we've got some mince, 200 grams, we've got some spinach, and then we've got a Greek yogurt bowl with blueberries, Greek yogurt, blueberries, peanut butter, and honey. Okay, I had to remember then, because yeah. All right, so here we go, man. But in all honesty, running any sort of business is not easy, you know? It's very, very hard. It's like a war, a constant battle, you know what I mean? You're constantly pushing every single day. And for anyone who's self-employed, they know it can be quite lonely as well. Luckily, I've got 2 partners on board, so we just kick it, we're cracking on. Pushing every single day, squash my hands quickly, but yes, I find it like a battle. It's like your baby, you're trying to nurture it, you're trying to grow it, and it just needs a lot of TLC, a lot of time, a lot of thought, you know? So, if some of you know, obviously we launched in December, Power Play, best pre-workout on the market in my opinion. I'm not just being biased, but it's a unique blend of ingredients, unique formula, not just for people who love an insane pump, but for people who need that focus, you know? Not just in the gym, but outside of the gym. So running that is tough, very tough, because when we first launched, everything was working out well. Let me move the camera here. Yeah, everything was working well. The problem we face, man, is just that needs washing again. Put this one back here. So the problem we face is trying to get things off the ground, trying to find a system that actually truly works, you know, and that is tough. Like right off the bat, we thought it was going to work out in spontaneous. It was, you know, instantly, as I could say. But it doesn't go as planned. Never does. In any situation, any scenario, you know. Whether you're doing up a flat or you're starting a business of any sort, it's always very difficult. So what we've done, I've run out of spinach. I've just got about 100 grams left here. So one thing I will say, when we started, it was like, how can I say? As I said, we thought it was going to be pretty like instant in terms of getting sales. We tried loads of things. Like myself and Aaron, we spent a lot of time trying to, you know, build the landing page up. Sorry, make the landing page look good. It looked pretty decent. It did look pretty decent, but it just wasn't all there. You know what I'm trying to say? It wasn't all there at all, man. And we ran ads, we tried and tried and tried, but like, how can I say this? Me and Anna had some business in the past, and you know, it didn't work out too well. We made a little bit of money, but nothing crazy, nothing crazy. And I feel like when you start any sort of complex business, let's say supplements for example, you need to be a master of a lot of fields. And what I mean by that is you need to know how to run ads properly, you know? You need to know how to market, you need to know how to sell, you need to know how to optimize and structure the business so it all is automated, you know what I mean? And that is pretty hard, man. I think it's a long, long time. So what we've done, from the start, I'll tell you from the start. So we ran the ads, made a landing page. At the start it was good, straight off the bat, launch was pretty good, you know what I mean? I can't lie, launch was pretty good. We made a few decent sales, nothing crazy. That went well, and it's got to a point where like we weren't that skilled, or we didn't have that much knowledge in trying to of learning how to optimize the ads. And what I mean by that is finding ones that are sellers, you know, hitting different angles. And what I mean by angles, I mean marketing angles. Finding the correct marketing angles that works, you know, for our target audience that we can scale on. So trying to find that was quite difficult, man. And I think we've kind of got to that point now where we know who our target audience is. Like, yeah, you might know who your target audience is when you make it, but trying to get a copy or trying to write copy for an ad, so it hits the right angle, you know. Trying to find that angle is tough, and it takes time and a lot of money. You know, you've got to run test ads for a month, see how you get on, see which angles perform, and then you scale on that. Create, you know, different ones or similar ones. Sorry, maybe you could try out some different. You know, you can. You know, if the hook's good, if the copy's good, or the creative's good, and you can adapt that based on the angle. So we done that. We struggled. You know, constantly learning, doing courses, and we hit a point where we're like, wow, like this is getting hard. Sales are going downhill. You know, I mean, the first few months were great, and then we hit, I think it was February, it just went downhill. So we're like, shit, okay, let's analyze the situation. Let's find out what we can do to make this work. So we optimized the landing page. It still didn't look good. And then again, it just comes down to like, you know, you need to know what you're doing, and it's hard when you don't. That's why I recommend everyone get a mentor. You know what I mean? If you're in business, I'm still yet to find a proper good mentor, because if you get a mentor, it's going to save you so much time. It's like getting a coach, for example, right? I've got a fitness coach, great guy. Think about how much time he is saving you by investing X amount a month. And what I mean, saving you time, you know, like, you know, getting your gains faster than realistically how long it's going to take. So that was just an example out there, man. Because if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to take a long time for you to research. It's going to take a long time for you to figure out how to do it efficiently. And that is where, you know, we were at. We brought a new co-founder on, great guy. He's pretty much made our landing page. If you want to check it out, it's Powerplay, powerplay.lift.com. So powerplay.lift.com. Check out our landing page. It looks great. So we went from there. So we completely redone the landing page, and then after that, we redone the landing page, and then we started running some ads again. But we thought, how can we? Because already, like, I'll be honest, the unit price is expensive. You know, it is really expensive, man, to make a supplement like this, and it just boils down to a couple of ingredients, which are the nootropics. They just, man, they're expensive. They're expensive ingredients. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you're gonna put other ingredients in, if you didn't put nootropics in, I guess it wouldn't be so expensive. But some of these, you know, this nootropics we put in, 3 specific ingredients, Rhodiola, Bacopa, Acetylcholine. They're expensive, man, and it costs us a lot of money to make it. So we had to figure out how can we make the profit, you know, the margins bigger, the profit, and cut down on our overheads to make it really work for us. So we came up with a plan. We made some samples, and let me just put this out there: like, this is business. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we want the best for people. We want to try and, you know, give the best value in the market, provide the best product, a healthy alternative. But this is, you know, it comes down to business, and you need good margins to have a sustainable business. You know what I'm trying to say? And scale. So how can we do this? So we bought other tester pouches. I don't know. I might have one for you now, actually. I might do. I might not. No, I don't think I do. Well, anyway, we had a tester pouch. We've just made some new ones now, which are pretty cool. They are really, really cool. I'll show them in the next video. And the whole idea is to let people try the product first. You know, it's like if you're trying to sell something, right? If your conviction isn't good enough, like if your selling points aren't hard enough for the person, where there's still resistance, you know, in their subconscious mind, then they're like, there's still a level of risk, because obviously they're giving you money for a product, and it needs to hit the spot, it needs to provide the benefits, it needs to elevate their life, you know, make their life better, to make it worth their transaction of money, if that makes sense. Just trying to explain it, but I'll say, let me just take this out because it's going to burn. 1 second. By the way, I like my spinach like this, man. Nice and fried. Otherwise it consumes too much of the plate. Straight in with the mince. Yeah, because at the end of the day, when it comes to selling, it comes down to not convincing, but providing value, enough value for them to give you your money, okay? And I don't mean it in a harsh way or just trying to take their money, but when you're trying to sell something to someone, or when you're about to buy something, your subconscious mind weighs up, you know, it's a ratio. And if the ratio isn't strong enough between the product or the price and the value, the subconscious mind is gonna, you know, it's not convinced enough to make that decision yet in terms of a purchase. So you need to convince the conscious mind. And when I mean conscious mind, you know, handling objections, for example, trying to provide, or give them a story. You need to transfer energy to that person to make their unconscious mind make that decision and, you know, purchase. So that's a battle in itself. I'm still learning all this, by the way, you know. I'm still learning all of this because it's not easy. But when you understand how the human mind works and how to transfer a kinetic energy to the person's subconscious mind to make that decision where the value outweighs the risk. That is the ratio, value to risk. So you need, as I said, you need the value to outweigh the risk for that subconscious mind to convert and make a purchase. So doing that is tough, and I'll give you some examples. Testimonials. Talk about people, you know, I'm just going to throw a couple of examples out there. You know, we could talk about people's testimonials, how it changed their life, how it benefited their life, you know, to purchase the product, or sorry, how it benefited their life once they purchased. You know, you can give some examples. It made them, you know, I'm going to talk about my product, for example, the Nootropics, how it made their workload less. So they spent 10 hours of work, but taking the power play, not just increased their focus in the gym, but gave them precision and laser energy, you know, tunnel vision focus in their tasks after the gym, like work or during the day, where they actually reduced the amount of work they were doing because they were so locked in and also distracted, scrolling on their phone, you know, brainlessly doing things, you know what I mean? Like, how many times do you sit there at the gym and just scroll on your phone, or you're just zoned out, you don't even know what you're thinking about, you're just zoned out? How would you feel if you could reduce that? You know what I mean? That is a selling point. And that ultimately is the goal, to make them convert. So, you know, just me, I'm still learning this sort of stuff. I just thought I'd try and give as much value as I can on this video, because that's what it's all about. Giving out value, helping other people, inspiring people to invest in themselves. By the way, excuse this. This is not mine, this is my girlfriend's, okay? So don't judge me in the comment section, please. So yes, back to what I was saying originally is, so we made a sample because we want people to try it first, because they're not fully convinced just from the ad. You know, the ad is the hook, the landing page is where it converts them. So we thought, well look, we're not getting too much conversions, the rate's not good. How can we set this up to lower overheads, create bigger margins, and let people try the product firsthand? So we pretty much give away free samples, man. You know, give away free samples, letting people try it, and converting them in the emails. And email marketing is a strong thing, you know. I'm gonna in another video show you behind the scenes of my flow, or you know, just behind the scenes on how it works when it comes to email marketing. But it's tough. As I said, I'm not too experienced. It's not my top skill set, but I'm learning every day. Every day I'm writing an email, reviewing it off of a few keywords. I've got a strategy to review emails to see if it hits, and it's got to be at least 8 out of 10. If it doesn't want 8 out of 10, I've got to start again, or I've got to rewrite it, you know. And I'll tell you, if you're in email marketing, I'll tell you the strategy I use. It's pretty simple. Look it up now. So, the strategy I use is VRET. Alright, VRET or whatever. VRET. Okay, and the V is value. Alright? How much value are you giving this person in the email? And we rate that 1 to 10. And if it's not at least an 8, this is based off myself, Aaron, and you know, Sina, the other co-founders, just you know, of their assumptions. So we've got, first one is value. What's that, 1 out of 10? We've got rarity. How rare is this? How often do you see other copywriters doing this or writing this sort of content on their emails? So we need to make it rare. E stands for emotional impact. How much are you impacting the reader? You know, how much impact are you making in their life? Are you making them realize you want them to feel something in the email? Okay, so we rate that 1 out of 10, and then we've got the amount of information we're giving in the amount of text. Okay, and what I mean by that is you don't want to keep the email. You don't want the email to be too long. You know, because people haven't got time to read that. People haven't got time to read that. You know. So it needs to be short, snappy, informative, full of value, rare. And this is what I base it off. And we're getting there. This is my meal. Very boring, but very lovely. On to the next. Let me move this camera. Here we are. But yeah, that's what it boils down to. And we're working on that, trying to get a move on. So sample just arrived today actually. We're going to package those up properly, and then we will start running ads again and get moving. So like all of this is taken like, how long can I say? Wow, it's taken a long time to get to this point. All of this I've had to learn, we've had to learn to get to the stage where we're at now. So people watching who think that business is get rich quick, or it doesn't take long, like a year or two, depending on the business you're doing, you know. There's a lot of things you need to learn. If you're a one-person company, you need to learn all of these skills, you know what I mean? And it's tough. It's a long process. It takes time. But you get there eventually. If you stay persistent, if you carry on and never stop. Keep pushing to your goals. Keep pushing to achieve those goals, keep striving. You'll get there eventually, if you stay persistent enough. Like, I'll be honest, like, for me, okay, I'll tell you what my week looks like. I'm going to do a day in our life of a co-founder of a supplement brand. And my day, man, is just like, it's non-stop. I wake up, obviously. I've got a 9 to 5 job, which is my own business. I've got another business which is pretty much my 9 to 5. I do that. I start work at 7:30 most days. Get home about 5:30. Took about 10 hours. 10-hour days, driving most of the day. And then I come home, hop in the shower, and then get changed, have my pre-workout meal, go to the gym. Come home. By the time I'm home, honestly, I'm home around about 7:30. No, that's a lie. 8 o'clock I get home, 8 p.m. I literally come home, have another shower, and then, please don't watch this. I get home after the gym, I have a shower, eat my last meal, and I'm working again, man. Non-stop working, like 7 days a week. And that's what it takes. As I said, I will do a day in the life soon. But it just shows, like, I sacrificed a lot of things to have this schedule, to push this far, because I need as much time as possible, you know. I'm not here to waste any time at all. I'm here to pursue my dreams, pursue my goals, elevate this brand, make it something, you know, create an impact in the world, reduce the suffering around me, and that is my goal. But yes, I will do a day in life, and it's just non-stop. And what even like tops it off as well is trying to diet as well. That is, to me, I think that's tough. Like, if you don't know me, and if you do know me, I was 160 odd kilos, 160 kilograms of weight, of mass. It's a lot, hell of a lot. And there's a hell of a lot of mass. And my life was going in a downward spiral, man. It really was. I was doing nothing useful. I was just working, drinking, smoking, eating loads of food. I was in a bad state, and I needed some direction. So, after that stage, I pretty much was inspired. I was inspired to make a positive change in my life, and best thing that ever happened to me. You know, sometimes I think about how I was, and I can't believe I was at that stage, at that point, where any further and it would have totally ruined me, you know. And I made that change, and it was the hardest thing I ever done, because eating, you know, eating was my comfort. It was a coping mechanism that was installed in my brain since I was a young man, or since I was a boy. It was tough to get to where I am now, but it was the best thing I ever done in my life. The best thing I ever done was get to where I am. So next video, I want to talk about what it took to get me to where I am. So I will speak about that. Follow me. Leaving the kitchen. I just bought the tripod today. I want to give it a go. I want to give it a spin. I was supposed to have my meal 5, my last meal, about 2 hours ago. I've just been non-stop hectic. You know what I mean? It's like 10 o'clock now. I'm just eating. I'm not the best. But before I eat, I just want to say thank you for watching the video. I want to finish off, I want to continue where I stopped, which was now, in terms of where I was and how I got to where I am, how I shifted my mindset, how I built up the good habits to lead to the momentum I've got now. And it's been non-stop every single day, a mental battle, a physical battle to get to where I am. And I want you to be on the journey with me, with my partners, Aaron, Sina, and watch this brand grow, make a difference, create a positive impact in the world. because that's what we truly want. That is our why, and that's why we do this.